Namaste, angels. I'm going to do a daily reading. It's been a long time. I just heard Raphael pull up too, just in time. Because today is what I feel is the first of a series of a couple, not even a series, not consecutive series, but a group in close proximity of days that are going to be particularly impactful and high energy. I am not one to fall for, believe, however you want to put it, the 11/11 portal stuff, like just because that's obvious. And people have the right to believe whatever they like, you know, so some of you may. But for me, my opinion is that we need to stop being so gullible. 11/11, which is tomorrow, is in fact not even an 11/11. It's a 5, right? It's 11/11/1. Today is an 11/11. And today is the day, or one of a couple of days in the next week or so, that I am considering to be particularly impactful and high energy. After I said it, and so I was and stuff, I also received an email by happenstance, probably a week or two later, from numerology.com or numerologist.com or something, that they were considering the same days that I had. So I'm not an astrologer. I'm just a psychic, and also a Gemini. So I can't help but employ logic and common sense to stuff, you know, and apply that. Today, 11/10/1 or 2017, again, is an 11/11. We are also today Venus sextile Black Moon Lilith. So like Venus versus Lilith, light versus dark, as Lilith moves into Capricorn also today. So I've been saying for a while that this was going to be, you know, like a big day as far as I was concerned. Because it's been a long time. Lilith entered Sagittarius on the 15th of February. So I think I was still doing dailies then. Some of you may remember that on Valentine's Day, or I had pre-warned leading into Valentine's Day, that many of us would not be with our partners. It would not be a good day, Valentine's Day, because she was in Scorpio then. And again, left Scorpio the next day and into Sagittarius, which has also not been very good. Now, astrologers may have different, and you know, people that there are people who admire Lilith, you know, so those people may see this differently. Again, I'm not an astrologer, and I'm not one that admires Lilith. She's bitter, in my opinion, like a woman scorned. You know, and I personally don't need that in my life. And it bears to be true. Like, for example, this week I warned people. I forgot to do it during the general reading and during the love reading, but the previous week I had said, like, a warning, next week this happens. I forgot to remind you. Again, I apologize for that. But in speaking to some of you who were experiencing, you know, foolishness, unnecessary conflict and drama and all that kind of stuff, I, you know, was like, well, if this happens, there's Raphael again, you know, Black Moon Lilith. The dark will be ramping it up this week, leading, you know, into and up to the 10th. So here we are. So that's why I'm doing a general reading today. All that said, you know, Lilith doesn't go away. You know, the asteroid still exists. It's a celestial body. We still have to contend with it. But again, in my feeling, based on, you know, some logic, some common sense, and my psychic ability, things will be, you know, will be improved. And they have been correct thus far. In fact, right up until about 12 o'clock yesterday, I you know, like just before it was over, the 9th, which was the last day, I had a Facebook friend of mine, viewer of mine, subscriber of mine, client of mine, totally misread a post that I had on Facebook. I don't know how she was able to misread it. It was something pulled directly from my natal chart, my personal natal chart, not general astrology, you know, down to my birth time and all that kind of stuff, about how I am, you know, based on that chart, like not a fan of greed, and I don't like to see people being used, and I don't like to see waste, and how I need to find balance in that area, because it's not healthy for me to completely sort of ban material things and money in my life. You know, like I have to view them as positive to an extent, and view myself as deserving of having some material things and some money, like not just be completely opposed to it. So I got to find balance in that area. She found people were liking it, loving it. She found something negative in that. I don't know how she misread it, which similarly happened on my channel in the comments the other day. Something that could have been cleared up. It's in black and white on Wikipedia. Somebody, you know, had their own feeling and decided to, you know, begin to argue with me and with two of my viewers, completely unrelated. We don't know each other in person. Turns out one is in London, one is in the Midwest or something. I'm here in New York. Don't at all know each other. Us versus this other person who became extremely emotional, started cursing, calling us names, you know, over something so inconsequential. So basically like an emotional implosion on my page. These sort of things happen. The one last night, the Facebook friend, I ended up choosing her to be the person for whom my page prayed for tonight, because, you know, clearly she was going through something, but I believe what she was going through was Lilith. So anyway, in any case, here we are, November 10th. I'm going to go to onthisday.com, just like we used to. So on this day in the year 1619, Rene Descartes has the dream that inspires his meditations on first philosophy. In 1674, the Dutch formally cede New Netherlands, aka New York, to the English. 1885, which is 1304 or 1111, German engineer Gottlieb Daimler unveils the world's first motorcycle. So of course that's like Daimler Chrysler. 1918 or 9, Western Union cable office in, I'm sorry, 1918 or 19, not 9. Western Union cable office in North Sydney, Nova Scotia, receives a top secret coded message from Europe stating that on November 11th in the year 1918, all fighting would cease on land, sea, and in the air. Very nice. 1989, which is in fact 9 or 9. Maybe that's what I was looking at. Germans begin demolishing the Berlin Wall. So that's nice. On a 9, something came to an end, an abrupt end. Did you know Henry Morton Stanley encounters David Livingstone at Ujiji, Ujiji, near Lake Tanganyika, Tanganyika, in Central Africa, with the immortal words, Dr. Livingstone, I presume. This happened on this day in the year 1871. Famous birthdays: Martin Luther, John Thompson, Jane Froman. Would you believe Walt Disney begins serving as an informer to the Los Angeles office of the FBI. His job is to report back information on Hollywood subservices. This happened on this day in the year 1941. Famous weddings: 1926, Belgium Crown Prince Leopold weds Princess Astrid of Sweden. 1963, actress Doris Roberts, who was 33 at the time, weds novelist William Goyen, who was 48. 1965. Netherlands Second Chamber accepts marriage of Princess Beatrice and Klaus von Amsberg. AMSBERG. 1973, Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully, 45, weds Sandra Hunt. 1977, actor Bryan Cranston, 21, weds writer Mickey Middleton. Famous divorces. 1975, journalist Ben Bradley, 54, divorces Antoinette Pinchot after 19 years of marriage. And 2004, talk show host Ricky Lake and Rob Sussman divorced after 10 years of marriage. Famous deaths. Arthur Rimbaud, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, Ataurk, and Leonid Brezhnev. Arthur Rimbaud was a poet. He's famous for Illuminations and Le Bateau Ivre, Bateauivre. He was born on October 20th in the year 1854 or 9909 and was a Libra from Charleville, France. He died on November 10th in the year 1891 at the age of 37 of bone cancer. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk was president and founder of the Republic of Turkey. Ataturk was instrumental in creating the modern Turkish state. A major figure in the fight for independence, he became the Republic's first president and went on to reform many institutions. Ataturk rose to prominence through the Ottoman army and successfully repelled the Allied forces during the Gallipoli, Gallipoli campaign in World War I. After the war, Ataturk was a key figure in the country's independence movement, resisting Allied attempts to impose their settlement in the Treaty of Lausanne, or Lausanne, Lausanne. In 1921, he established a provisional government, Ankara, Ankara, and got the caliphate abolished the next year. In 1924, Turkey was declared a republic and Ataturk its first president. Until his death in 1938, he sought to modernize Turkey and its institutions. Much of Turkish society was secularized, education made widely available, women's rights strengthened, and Latin alphabet adopted. He was born on May 19th, which is the same day that Malcolm X was born. That's Malcolm X's birthday. He was born in the year 1881, which is another 99 or 9. He was a Taurus from Salonica, 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 Ottoman Empire. He died on November 10th in the year 1938 at the age of 57 of cirrhosis of the liver. Leonid Brezhnev was the Soviet General Secretary, or a Soviet General Secretary. He was a dominant political force in Soviet politics through much of the Cold War. He is the second longest serving General Secretary after Stalin himself. Brezhnev rose steadily through the ranks to become Soviet leader, Khrushchev's protege. In 1960, he was appointed chairman of the Presidium of Supreme Soviet, a largely ceremonial position. In 1964, Brezhnev emerged as part of a group that deposed Khrushchev, and he was appointed General Secretary of the Soviet Central Committee and Khrushchev's successor. In power, Brezhnev continued Khrushchev's hard-line stance, presiding over the invasion of Czechoslovakia to halt the Prague Spring and invading Afghanistan in 1979. He developed a policy of detente. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Detente. Detente. A gradual thawing with non-communist countries, particularly the U.S. So I guess they didn't get along with a bunch of non-communist countries before, and he began to develop relationships with them. That's what it sounds like to me. Domestically, Brezhnev's time in power has been characterized as a period of economic stagnation. Living standards fell in part due to the huge spend on the military and space race. He was born on December 19th. That's the day of two of my best friends in the year 1906. He was a Sagittarius from Kamenskoye, Kamenskoye, Ukraine, Russia. He died on November 10th in the year 1982 at the age of 75 of a heart attack. And he was the last of the deaths. Going back up quickly to the birthdays. Martin Luther was the founder of Protestantism, a seminal figure of the 16th century movement in Christianity, known later as the Protestant Reformation, thanks in large part to his 95 Theses. His refusal to retract all of his writings at the demand of Pope Leo X in the year 1520 and the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V at the Diet of Worms in 1521 resulted in his excommunication by the Pope and condemnation as an outlaw by the Emperor. He was born on November 10th in the year 1483 and was a Scorpio from Eisleben, Eisleben, Saxony, Holy Roman Empire. He died on February 18th in the year 1546 at the age of 62. John Thompson was the fourth Prime Minister of Canada. He served as the fourth Prime Minister of Canada from December in the year 1892 or 9/11 or 11 until his sudden death in office in the year 1894, which is 13 or 4 or 11/11. He was the first Roman Catholic to hold the office of Prime Minister. During his tenure as Prime Minister, he faced issues including the reduction of trade tariffs and questions over schooling in Manitoba and in the Northwest Territories, where disputes over the role of Catholics and Protestants in administering the school system existed. He was born on November 10th in 1845, which is another 9/9 or 9, and was a Scorpio from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. He died on December 12th in the year 1894, which is again 1304 or 11/11, at the age of 49, which is also 1304 or 11/11 of a heart attack. And lastly, Jane Froman, looks like an actress, let's see, was a singer, American singer and actress, who performed on stage, radio, and television despite chronic injuries that she sustained in a 1943 plane crash. She was born on November 10th in 1907 and was a Scorpio from University City, Missouri, USA. She died on April 22nd in 1980 at the age of 72 of cardiac arrest. And she was the last. Again, that was from onthisday.com. Anybody wants to look further, because they have other, like those were the highlights, but you could read other details. They have other tabs. So I'm going to go to the dice for today. 29. So partnership, right? Partnership and humanitarianism, just like we saw in the cards for the week. Stay in bed. And forget it. Spirit says romantic dinner, cocktail, and still forget it. So don't make too much of something. I'm going to begin, I think, with the Animal Tarot and the Four of Spring. So basically the Four of Wands, Four of Fire. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. As it relates to love, this can be about commitment, partnership, maybe even marriage. Moving in together, new home together. And opening to 19, the Sun, Major Arcana card number 19. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments you so richly deserve. Actually, seeing the Sun and the Four of Wands reminds me, pretty sure today there's a Leo moon. So there may be a lot of fire. The sun, of course, can represent the sign of Leo. Earth's star, the sun, does rule the sign of Leo. In the tarot, the sun tends to represent Sagittarius, however, but it can be any fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, or, you know, anyone taking on the attributes or traits of any of those signs, the passion and drive and all that stuff. As it relates again to the Four of Spring, the sun and the Four of Spring together mean everything's going to work out as far as your plans for, you know, moving in together or moving in on your own and being happy and at peace and content in your own home, entering a relationship, getting married, whatever you're doing, it's going to work out. And opening to the Ace of Autumn, which would support that as well, right? This is a divine like blessing from the universe, the Ace of Autumn, Ace of Earth, Ace of Pentacles, coins, you get it. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. It can also be a relationship again. You may be offered a fabulous new job or a promotion or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. Four of Spring. And the Prince of Autumn. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn is a Taurus, like the moon. That's maybe why the Ace showed up as well. This week and this day, we're still in the energy of the full moon in Taurus as well. A Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn can also be here, maybe because, again, Capricorn with Lilith entering Capricorn, or the fact that Venus is sextile Lilith. Venus rules Taurus. Many, many reasons. Prince of Autumn here. Opposite the Four of Spring still. So good things. If it relates to relationship, the Prince of Autumn would signify that that relationship has the makings to go the distance, right? Anytime, the way I read love cards in connection with the court cards and the suit of earth, it means longevity and success in those relationships to me. I'm going to cut while we're on a good roll. All right, positive cards coming out for us. I'm going to just cut here. And it's the Seven of Autumn, which was, I think, the heart of the matter in the general reading for the week. The planning, resources, and efforts you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. The overall energy is the Four of Autumn. So we began with the Four of Fire. And now the Four of Autumn, both about our foundations, laying foundations, groundwork for what will be in the future, which again looks like it's going to be super, super awesome and bright based on the Ace of Earth having also been here, as well as the Prince of Earth and, of course, the Sun. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. All right, there's a difference. Masculine today, the Five of Spring. So maybe some of this Lilith in Sagittarius still leaving them, still affecting them. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. Surrounded by the Princess of Autumn. So this is like the page. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous is the Princess of Autumn. And like the Ace and the Prince, she is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or a scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or start a more rewarding and uplifting career. So this can be the masculine's energy himself, or somebody impactful upon him, or, you know, bringing him this opportunity, making this opportunity possible for him to learn something new, or again, you know, have a new opportunity at a relationship, perhaps with an earth sign, or to change careers, do something different at work. And that's a real possibility in connection with the Ace of Autumn. It can definitely be about promotion. Coming from the perspective of an ascended being, promotion can mean that, right? Or spiritual being, promotion can be just a raise in your vibration that makes, you know, other things possible to you as well. Opens up the flow to abundance. In the masculine subconscious is the King of Winter. He is intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional, and may not be a female. This could be Venus, or it may not be a male, rather. This could be Venus or a female, impactful upon the masculine on this day of perhaps an air sign, the air element, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. The feminine is the King of Autumn, who is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. The King of Autumn, like the Ace, Princess, and Prince, we've seen all those thus far. We have but to see the Queen yet. Is a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. Also, in the areas of love, everything you touch turning to gold, whatever the area is, and that love perhaps can be with an earth sign, or maybe you're the earth element or taking on those traits, or this could be Venus yet again. You know, here she is sort of in both of her elements here. Ruler of Gemini and Libra and Taurus. The feminine surrounded by the Five of Autumn. So we're feeling lack, right? Maybe not realizing or acknowledging that this King of Autumn energy is surrounding us. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to start your own business or to become self-employed. So as it relates to the financial, sure, those can be those things. Also definitely feeling lack. But as it relates to love, it's about lack for me too. Like feeling that something's missing from a relationship, or being worried that something will be missing from a relationship without giving it a fair chance, or having, fear of abandonment issues stemming from perhaps your childhood or a past relationship that was toxic, expecting your new situation to be the same as that old one. And in that sense, if this is a person, maybe not giving them the benefit of the doubt or a fair shot. And if it's a financial opportunity, sort of blocking your own blessing potentially by having the wrong energy and the wrong attitude. In the feminine subconscious, it's the Seven of Autumn. So, allow yourself to be free to reap the blessings. If you're feeling this, whatever you have to do, meditate, pray, go to church, talk to a friend, to get out of this kind of energy. Work on healing your energy, contact an energy healer, whatever you need to do if you feel this going on, to not block this or that ace that wants to come to you. The planning, resources, and efforts you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. Crowning, the Princess of Winter. So this is a page. The page is likely a Gemini, in my opinion, but can be a Libra or Aquarius as well. Something was coming in. I wasn't forgetting your Aquarians. In fact, I myself am an Aquarius moon, so I can't forget. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic is the Princess of Winter. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. So I mentioned somewhere here today about the need to apply and employ like logic sometimes and common sense. That's where the Princess of Winter comes in. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, because sometimes the Princess of Winter, a page of air, or swords, can just drop something on you. You know, like, don't kill the messenger, or don't hate the messenger. Just accept the message and, you know, use it to your advantage. Use the information as you need. Crossing the Princess of Autumn, there can be a situation here involving a Gemini and a Virgo. Virgo would be the youthful, immature of the earth element. At the root, the Three of Autumn. Your most satisfying and profitable career comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth into the world. So this is about allowing yourself to be rewarded, right? And not blowing it at the last minute. The boss has an eye on you. Like, don't slip up now. You've been doing awesome. Continue to do awesome. This can also have to do with a situation at work involving what I call a party of three, not necessarily romantic, but quite possibly romantic. Maybe you met somebody at work, you're involved in a relationship, or your partner met somebody at work, is involved in a relationship with them, or there's somebody at work wanting a relationship with you or your partner, you know, whatever the dynamic is. Or it can even be like a friend or something trying to throw a monkey wrench and stuff. You know, a lot of time this third energy doesn't mean you well. A lot of the time. They can be helpful sometimes. Like maybe this time, maybe they are being helpful, or maybe they are expected to be helpful with this crossing the Princess of Autumn, which is again is a page of autumn, and pages bring stuff. They bring news. They bring opportunity. So maybe there is somebody who can help you with getting into school or something at work or something like that. Or even fixing your relationship or getting into a relationship. Different for everyone. At the heart of the matter, wow, the Ace of Summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of a romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. So the Ace of Summer is a brand new, super awesome opportunity, situation, circumstance, path that, you know, just makes you very, very happy, like completely emotionally fulfilled. Let's see, there's a butterfly. So we've gone through a transition and now everything is new again. Right? It's really a fresh start. And it's divine. It's blessed. Look at this dove here, right? I'm going to clarify these with the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels so we can see what's up with love. And I'm beginning with deception. So maybe something connected to this Five of Autumn, or perhaps this Three of Autumn, because similar to how the Three of Autumn crosses for the masculine, the princess, and may be good, for the feminine, it may not be so good. The Three of Autumn is crossing the Five. Maybe there's a reason why she's feeling lack and abandonment. Maybe this third person caused a problem. We still have to remember, though, at the heart of the matter is the Ace of Summer, so a new opportunity coming. Sometimes this may be something of which we need to let go to allow for this to come in. Maybe it's been delayed in the past because of conflict or because of a third energy. And now here's our new chance. It's being reborn. The opportunity is being reborn. Again, maybe connected to this deception. Someone's wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Opening 2, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning. Well, if it has anything to do with the red flags on this table, that would be the Five of Spring, which is conflict and challenge. So watch out for people that don't mean you well, that they want to, you know, start bullshit. Like sometimes it's obvious. It was, you know, the other day, one of the viewers that, you know, got involved and that ended up in the argument pointed out right away, like the tone of this person's comment was just off from the beginning. It was provocative. It was to start, you know, it was to antagonize. That's how it was meant. So watch out for people like that in situations like that. Signs are cautioning you. And opening to true love. This is the romance of a lifetime, which could very well be represented by this Ace of Summer. True love. And engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Similar to what I said here about the Princess of Autumn, that this can be about promotion from an ascension standpoint. It can be a promotion of a relationship, a romantic relationship, sitting here next to the Ace of Summer. Engagement. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Engagement. I'll go one more. Ah, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Okay, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Soulmate now at the bottom, and I'm cutting. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Overall energy is you deserve love. You are lovable. Okay. Just wanted to make sure we were in frame. Atop the Five of Spring, separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Now, this could very easily, again, be this third party, because this is at the root. This is at our foundation. So this is something that existed already. This is not something new that's coming to us, this three. And they may be part of this conflict. Remember, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. This could be the universe telling you it's time to get rid of this person. Whether, or, you know, it's a friend, it's a relationship, it's an earth sign, you know, regardless of whatever it is, separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but I really don't feel it's your partner, especially not coupled with this Five of Spring. I feel it is, you know, a third energy that has been budding their, you know, nose or self in your business and life one way or another, maybe whether you allowed it or not. And it's time to release that person or that energy, whatever it represents. Atop the Princess of Autumn, forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Atop the King of Winter. So like cutting to the chase, cutting to the bullshit, being fair and diplomatic and looking at the situation from a logical standpoint, a fair standpoint, justice, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. And we have this reconciliation, again, crossing the Ace of Summer or Ace of Cups, Ace of Water, which also represents reconciliation. Atop the King of Autumn, let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. Maybe there is a King of Autumn, specifically an earth sign, that you've been like avoiding. You didn't pick that man or woman. You know, you didn't want to let them in your life. Even that is the control that's coming through. So I had to say it. Allow the situation to instead unfold naturally. You may be happily surprised. You could be holding back because of, again, you could be Four of Earthing. That's our overall energy. Withholding love because of fear of how, you know, the lack that you're expecting So by expecting that lack, you're blocking your blessing. Let go of all that and allow this king of earth to come to you. Atop the 5 of autumn is passion. So instead of lack and something missing from the relationship, no, a relationship full of love and energy. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Don't withhold the love, right? Allow. Atop the 7 of autumn, if we're patient, this situation involves marriage. I just want to be clear, not mislead anybody or confuse anyone. The king of earth does not have to be an earth sign. You know, it can be any sign, but that was a separate message that came through, that if there's an earth sign that we've been avoiding, maybe some of us are still meeting people. We don't know who our partner is yet. And, you know, the fire sign is cuter than the earth sign, whatever the situation. Some of you may want to give that earth sign a chance. That's just a message that came through. But this can represent any zodiac sign and just a relationship, again, of longevity. The court cards in the suit of earth can represent longevity, having nothing to do with the person's zodiac or chart. Atop the princess of winter, past life relationship. You've known each other before. For some, this suit of air or swords card underneath here, next to separation, again, is signifying the need to cut something off, a past life situation, to let go of control issues and cut that out. For others, I'm getting that the past life relationship is positive, has positive meaning. And that makes sense because, again, it's sitting here atop the Ace of Summer as well. And our positive relationships, soulmate relationships, divine unions are also past life relationships. So you have one that's funky, of which you need to let go. You have one which you need to let go of control issues. And then you have one, which for the feminine can be the same one, that is being renewed and it's positive and it makes everyone happy and feeling full of love. Atop the 3 of autumn, they're talking to me. So masculine, also having to do with this reconciliation. This is guiding you. I was saying it could be Venus before. Venus is, of course, the planet and goddess of love. You know, so she wants reconciliation. But also the King of Winter is about speaking your truth in your mind and being honest with yourself and honest with the other person. So if you've been holding back, you got to learn from that, right? Forgive yourself, forgive whomever this Ace of Summer represents for you. Learn from the experience of, you know, maybe where you left them when you shouldn't have or whatever. And then, you know, say what you mean and mean what you say. That's what the King of Winter does. Again, regardless of what your true zodiac sign is, like keep it 100, as they say. And this is you here formulating those thoughts and those words in this position. But make sure that you allow them to come out. Even if some might be hurtful. So we're going from the King of Air to the Page of Air sitting under here. And again, the Page of Air drops truth bombs and can sometimes, or all the time, not necessarily be careful about how it comes out. They don't mean it in a malicious way. It's just, they just blurt stuff out. They just say what they mean and mean what they say. And they'll tell you the truth. And sometimes the truth can be painful, but that's what you're going to have to do here. And it's part of the reconciliation process, and it's part of the forgiving and learning. Okay. Boom. Boom. What did I say? This 3 of autumn mean you know fucking good. In most cases. Here's the deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship, and it is having to do with this 3rd energy. So again, we need to cut this out. It sits here next to the King too. We got to speak the truth about it and release it. Forgive yourself, forgive them, forgive them or whomever else is involved. Learn from the experience, keep it moving, keep it 100. At the heart of the matter, atop the Ace of Summer, very soon. Okay. All this happens very soon. If we put our minds to it, if we clearly decide, like a King of Winter would do, what we want so that it comes to us now, it will. With that, I'm going to do some advice. I wanted advice from my numerology cards too, just because, again, of the numbers. Numbers matter, and you know what they do and may mean for us. So today again is an 11-11. 85 also equals 13 equals 4 equals an 11-11. Our overall energy equals 4 equals an 11-11, and the energy with which I began was a 4 or 11-11. So all that stuff matters. I'm sure it has meaning for today, specifically for today. Tomorrow is a 5. The days in between the 10th and the 18th, you know, they can be cool too and impactful. But for me, the heavy ones are the 10th, the 18th, and the 19th. Not, you know, some mysterious 11-11 so-called portal. In any case, follow your dreams is with what I'm beginning and opening to, speaking of 19, pride. That may be called for here. That might be why they kept bringing me back to this King of Winter to let him, and you know, really try to power it home of how you've got to keep it real. You're going to have to let go of the pride in order to allow for this, the forgiving of yourself and whomever else is involved that was hurt, and the learning and the reconciliation. Allow you to really say what you have to say and mean what you say and say what you mean. You're going to have to drop the ego, drop the pride. Feminine, same goes for you. In order to allow for this bounty to flow to you, this abundance, you're going to have to let go of the ego, the pride that has you holding on to this 5 of earth, and allow for the King of Earth to flow to you. 85, follow your dreams. And opening to spiritual career. '85, follow your dreams. 46, domestic harmony. So this is Ace of Water, like with which we began. Nope, open to karmic completion. Surrender. Relationship change. So, I mean, this can be good, right? This could be good or bad, depending upon the person, you know, or the persons involved and on what end they are. Because relationship change, you know, can involve something like this too. And again, letting go of a friend or a romantic interest or something, even a nosy family member can be that kind of relationship change too. To allow for this very beautiful relationship change in the center, and this relationship change, the reconciliation or the birth of a new relationship or the ascension of a current relationship that's going well. If we surrender. Now, where did this come from? This wasn't even the card that was here. I don't remember what was here, but it wasn't surrender. Surrender is here now. So if we surrender and let go of that which no longer serves us, including our control issues, then we can have this positive relationship change. Surrender, I'll go one more. And it's just plain old change. Opposite surrender. And that note, let's just cut. Financial discipline. Maybe our relationship with money changes for some of us. All these pentacles here, that could be the case too. The overall energy is effort. So again, if we put the effort in to let go of our control issues and surrender what no longer serves us, and to pull off false masks, good things will happen to us very soon. And lastly, certainly not least, I'm beginning with Jesus. Open your heart to love, which I think also applies really well, particularly to the feminine, because here we have this 5 of autumn. that implies lack and being closed off. It's just a step up from that 4, which can be about being closed off as well, withholding love. And again, this conflict for, you know, it can be an inner conflict for some too. And you got to separate yourself from that, from fighting your, you know, yourself. You're lying to yourself. So you got to let that go. Separate yourself from, you know, the lies and your, you know, fighting your own desires. It's like voting against your interests, right? We just had election day. Reminded me of voting against your interests. Also, sort of very randomly, at least right now, I myself don't know necessarily what the reason might be. I am hearing, I believe the woman's name is Alicia Myers, the woman who sings this song. It's a song, I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for shining your light on me. It's about being sent a romantic partner. So maybe it has to do with the Ace of Water. And she says, I know it wouldn't have happened without your love. It took a long time for it to happen, but I knew those nights I prayed that you would send me someone who was real and not someone for fake. I took the faith and didn't worry. My nights grew longer than my days until one day it really happened. You sent true love my way. I know it wouldn't have happened without you. I'm getting chills in my leg. So that I'm hearing that song. I know I'm not hearing it out loud. It's in my head, but I was meant to share it with you. And that might have to do with open your heart to love. Like you've been sent somebody, but some of us are still rejecting that person. Like I was saying to the feminine before about the this king of autumn, which may be a true king of autumn, an actual earth sign that we're rejecting because we're afraid to, you know, open up to love truly. So Jesus comes through and suggests that we do. And work your magic, says Saint Germain. Saint Germain, go now, says Serapis Bey. Maybe go now toward, you know, like your blessings. Go now away from this negativity that's holding you back. Work your magic. And yoga, says Babaji. So this is about meditation and how helpful that can be in like releasing any toxicity. I'm going to just go ahead and cut. Oop, I'm making a mess now too. Hoping not to see that white buffalo calf woman. I know that in a general sense, she is a well, you know, liked and loved goddess. When I pull the card, however, similar to my proper burial for freedom sacrifice to Osiris, people pass away. And in the weekly reading, I, you know, was very hopeful that that wasn't going to be what it meant this time. You know, like for the first time, I'd be wrong because, you know, that's not to brag. It just never off. And it wasn't off again. I do have several Facebook friends, subscribers, viewers, you know, members of my soul family that have lost males in their family. If you saw that reading, the card fell right here in what was the male. What can the masculine do? Or what can the male do? Fell that proper burial for freedom card. And I felt then, I knew that I didn't want to say that because I was also, again, hopeful that it wouldn't mean it that this time, but it has. So my condolences to me and all of you who have lost loved ones. My most sincere, deepest condolences. Also, as I did go as far as to say, it has been close friends of the family and uncles and nephews. I did mention that much. So again, I'm very, very sorry. And I've come to mother, wife, sister, daughter, Lady Nada. Some of us have a relationship with a feminine energy in our life with which we need to heal. Now, we can heal by repairing the relationship if we feel that's possible. I mean, that's going to be up to you. Or by walking away from it. And this may be particularly for the masculine, in this case here, because with separation and with a conflict, the 5 of fire, that could certainly be a situation that you might be able to repair. It's going to be up to you, right? You choose what battles you're going to fight and which ones from which you're going to walk away. You know, and so that is the choice. You might be able to repair it, or you might walk away from it. That's up to you. It's with a feminine energy, not necessarily a female. It could be your own inner feminine energy again too, and you're fighting. You're fighting the feminine propensity to surrender. That can be the case too. You need to surrender and let these things die, like out of your life, and you could be fighting that. I just opened up again to You Can Do It, Archangel Michael. So I don't know why. I didn't mean to. Let's get our overall energy here. And it is, you are seeing this situation accurately. Horus, with the moon here. So again, the moon is about feminine energy of surrender. Especially this moon, I would say, that is definitely a Venus moon, right? It's a... the Taurus full moon, Taurus ruled by Venus, goddess of love, money, abundance, planet of love, money, abundance. Okay, all that in consideration and said, masculine, trust, Vishnu. So yeah, it's calling, the situation's calling for you to trust in yourself first and foremost. And then again, be true to yourself. Be the king of winter. Remove any false masks, because there can't be anything fake about this. You must keep it 100. And then trust in this process, that letting go of these things is not going to result in, you know, the end of the world. It's going to result in a new world, a new phase, at least a new world for you, a new chapter, a new phase, a new circumstance, a new situation, a new relationship. That's what you got to trust. Feminine. Father, husband, brother, son, Osiris. So for us, there's a masculine relationship, a masculine in our life with whom we need to heal a relationship. That can be ourself. That can be us having control issues. Masculine energy is about organization and aggression, right? And control. So we may need to get that in check. We could be fighting ourselves too. In addition to that, there can be a male in our life with whom we need to heal a relationship. A father, brother, husband, or son, possibly. And same thing like I told the masculine, we can do that by repairing the relationship or walking away from it. And it can be energetic. It doesn't have to be an actual person. It can be you're holding on to this old masculine that let you down, that hurt you. You're holding on to his energy. You're taking that energy of lack and spoil and trauma and failure into your new relationship. You're taking it toward your ace of water. Heal the relationship with that masculine energy by letting that go. And instead allowing your heart and soul to sing with joy. From the numerology deck to the masculine, 41, self-discipline. What I just say being masculine was about, masculine energy was about organization, right? Discipline, order, like the emperor, right? So that's what the masculine is calling to work with his, or call, you know, rely upon, call upon his traditional energy as well. And this doesn't have anything to do with gender either. There's masculine energy. So male or female, self-discipline. Feminine, creativity. Okay, this is ours. This is being, you know, making things. That we give birth to things. That's what, you know, a big part of femininity and being female, perhaps also. But it doesn't have to involve gender. It could just femininity. We give birth to new things. That's our nature. Not that men, you know, can't start new projects and stuff too, but that's our nature. And also to nurture those new things. That has a lot to do with 3 too. The Empress, I just mentioned the Emperor for them with this 41. The Emperor, Major Arcana card number 3, I mean the Empress, Major Arcana card number 3 is again Venus, for at least for me. And it's that maternal card, that nurturing, that creativity, that giving birth to new things. And for some of us, that can be part of the situation too. A pregnancy, a baby with the Ace of Water here. Maybe a baby shared between an air sign and an earth sign for some. Or the birth of something new shared between those. In any case, regardless of people's zodiac signs, masculine. Again, you're starting a new phase, right? You're ending an old phase, moving out of an old phase. You didn't do it on your own. That's okay. The universe forgives you and is going to help you out and sort of more, gracefully ease you into that new phase while congratulating on the steps you did take in leaving the old phase on your own. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons life offered you with grace and courage. So again, forgiving and learning, incorporating the lessons. That's why you're thinking differently now. You're thinking as a king of air now. So congratulations. And this is about a party of three, in all likelihood, a situation involving three people, as is evident again here. Boom, 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 boom. For us from the Animal Tarot, it's the Two of Summer. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or even romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. I was going to mention something about that in the weekly. I've been feeling it. Because a lot of us going through it, a lot of us had, separation and, those quote unquote breakups I talked about the other day and different struggles this week with the Lilith energy, the dark trying to make some last, ditch attempts and efforts against us and all those things. And, I spoke to a lot of people and many happen to be unmarried and, without children with their partner. And, no relationship is any, greater or lesser than another, but they are different. And there's lessons built in these situations about coveting, right? About wishing we had, what another's type of situation or another's belongings or whatever. And I say that because, as I've said many times, there is not one union, divine union, that is in union the way the universe intends for union to be. None of us have reached that point yet. And so even within our married unions, couples, pregnant couples, married and or, all the above, we're starting a family, there is still these difficulties. And I have these people among my viewership. I have them among my clients. One of the breakups actually was a pregnant, a Gemini and a Virgo that are expecting a baby. They were one of the quote unquote breakups even. A married couple with whom I work that has been, back and forth in separation. They've been facing some more difficult roads and things like that. So when we're not married and we don't have children with our partner, we're not having a child with our partner, during this situation, I try to remind people or ask them, like in that time, like, would you really rather be married? Your quote unquote union while you're going through this? Or do you think it might be easier? Like the grass is not always greener on the other side. So just because we see somebody who's engaged or pregnant or married, the idea is not to want what they have, because we could never know what they truly have. It's just to appreciate what we have, including the lessons through which we go, right? Appreciating all of that, the entire experience, painful as it may be sometimes. It can always be worse. It can always be worse. A situation that you couldn't handle. We each entered an individual contract. So I say all that to say, because I was reading about marriages in distress that can still be saved. We have this situation among us, you know, marriages that are in trouble, that are between divine partners. So this Two of Summer, Two of Cups, Two of Water is awesome news to any and all of us about the relationships ascending, as I mentioned somewhere earlier in the reading, about promotion. Yeah, I was talking about this page that's under here and this ace. That's promotion and elevation, the universe giving us a raise as it relates to our relationships. From the romance angels to the masculine, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So you may be expecting things to be a big mess. And maybe that's why you're struggling here. You got to do some thinking. Maybe that's why there's forgiving and learning required. Maybe that's why you're fighting here, you know, with someone else or with yourself, and why there's a mask. Because your expectation is, oh, I've made a mess of this. It can't be fixed. Or, you know, I don't see how this could work out. We're too different. Whatever the case is. Romance angels show up to say, like, let that go too. Separate yourself from that, from those thoughts and emotions as well. They are negative. They are toxic. And lastly, for the feminine, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So we could do well to be mindful of like conflicting energy too, and energy of challenge as well, just like the masculine. I hope that you guys enjoyed this daily reading. I'll be back, I think, with a daily, at least for the 19th. So just next Sunday. And I'll be back in the meantime with some personal readings and the weekly general reading and the weekly love reading and the new moon reading for the 18th. Namaste, angels.